Let's check.
Check.
Because it's Monday morning and who knows if the equipment is going to work today because it's a very cold, frigid morning here in Iowa. And we want to check to make sure that everybody can hear us today. But we've got
it hasn't frozen over.
that it hasn't frozen over. We want to make sure everything is working. So, Diane, if you're watching, let us know if you can hear us. But look at who's here. It's Monday, and we always have Teresa's here on Monday.
Hi. Good morning.
She has always such wonderful ideas to share with us, and today is no different. She is going to share with us some really fun stamping and stenciling techniques. And look at all her yummy stuff over here. We'll just show you all this while everybody is jumping on. And then I guess while we're waiting for people to jump on, I'm just going to jump over here and show the new product that came in this weekend, which is kind of fun because we have deliveries now on Saturdays that we never used to have. So it would be, if it didn't come in on Friday, then it wasn't going to come until Monday. But now we get deliveries on Saturdays, so it's kind of fun. So this is a new product that just came in from Concord and Ninth, and I wish I had printed out some samples. But there's all kinds of samples on the internet. This is their new color. They look like crayon dye.
Very cute.
Yes, Color Me Happy dyes, and they make really adorable cards. It's only $9.99. And then the coordinating stamp set is this one. And it says, Color Me Happy stamp set. You bring so much color to my world. So what they showed in samples was they did the dyes in all the different colors. And then that's the crayon line, or this is the scribble line.
Oh, I love it when they have coordinating things.
Yeah, me too.
It makes it easier.
Yes. And proud, thankful, happy. Color me proud, color me thankful, color me happy. And that too is only $9.99 for that stamp set. And then I'm really super excited about these. Oh my gosh, because this was a class that I took. So this is their mini gift box die set. And this is what it makes, is all these really cute die boxes. And then this one, let me see if I can open this one. This one turns into, you can have a folder on it. And then look in there. It's like a present in a present. And then it makes these little note cards. Isn't that just so fun?
That is so cute.
So the cards right there are made with this stamp set, and this is called Yay for Birthday stamp set, and it is $23.99. And there are a lot of stamps on this. But do you see the happy birthday there? That's made with this stamp set. There's the happy. And there's the birthday. And then the little note card, the little note envelopes. Yeah, look at that.
There's more.
Yes, and that's made with this. So it's already got the layers in there. So when you layer it looks like
it shadows for you.
Yes, it does. It takes all the work out of it for you.
Is there one in here too?
Mm-hmm.
This is fun.
I know. Your OC is a present.
I know. Oh, cute.
Yes, and that's made with these balloons right here. So that the envelopes then is this mini post envelope die set, and that is $28.99. And hopefully you'll find these under new in Concord and Ninth. And if not, I'll get it out there right after the video. But see this, I just love this one, Teresa. Yeah.
I'm like, what's in here? What's in here? That one's empty.
But see the bow on the outside of that box? That is also on this die.
Very cute.
And see the For You? Yep, right there. And that is on here. And then that die says Enjoy. So it's just a really fun die set. And then we got in the Weekender bag. And this was used in Maker Mania, and everybody was wanting this. I didn't get a chance to make it, but it's a really cute, look at that bag. So I think people are putting little note cards in it or little treats.
You know what would be cute with that? Is that Tim Holtz leather paper. To make a leather bag.
Leather bag. Oh, that's good. And you could do it in your favorite designer colors. That's a good idea, Teresa. And look at the little locket. Look at the little
Oh my
locket it has
gosh.
on it, and the
Very
buckles.
cute. It has a buckle.
Yeah. So
Fancy.
that is $38.99, and that is Concord and Ninth Weekender handbag dies. Okay. Well, and then I guess we'll show you. We got in some new. Let's see, Jen Hatfield puffy dots, $2.99, and you'll probably find those under dimensional embellishments on our website. And hunting, some new Jolie's hunting, and pandas. Who doesn't love pandas? And then this is just a restock of some paper that we got in. Everybody loves this rainbow paper. And okay, this is family heirloom. And this is the map paper that Janet's been using in her heritage books. And Maggie loves this paper for background on her mixed media. And then this too is Garden Grove, and this is a wonderful background paper. I think I use this and Maggie used this. Yeah, let's see. Yep, this is the background paper that Maggie used on this project, and it's also the same background I used on my project. And let's see, I think we made some Valentine cards out of that. So, lots of really wonderful things, and I think everybody's signed on, Teresa,
All
so
right.
we can go ahead and get started.
Well, we have a new color, Tim's new color. Kitsch Flamingo. I call it kitschy. I don't know. I have a hard time remembering that, but I was going to start with flamingo, but I like kitschy, so it's a new word for me.
It is, I think, for everybody.
Yeah, and you know, I had to Google it. Google is my friend sometimes.
So tell us, what does kitschy mean?
Well, I can't remember the exact definition, but it's really like kind of old, like I don't know what even year it was. Do you know, Dawn?
No,
like
what
60s
year it came
or,
out, kitschy?
Yeah, and when you Google it, images come up of like ladies in aprons and bright pink and teal and yellows, really bright. And just fun, old-fashioned stuff. So
kind of eclectic. I think of it as kind of eclectic, like a mix of stuff.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So we've got the Kitschy Flamingo, and it is a bright pink, which he has the picked raspberry, which is a bright pink, but this is bright kind of in a neonish way. So it's a very nice addition to his color line. And I've been, as the new colors come out, I've been stamping them with my Tim Holtz butterfly and labeling them so you can kind of see. So there's the kitsch. And it is pretty bright. And I think that the oxide and the regular distress ink look a little bit different, but you know, he tries to get them as close as possible. I like the oxide, and we are out of both inks right now, but they're on order and they're coming, and so just call and tell us if you want those inks.
They'll be here by the end of the week.
Yeah, you're going to want them for your collection. So these are the colors that I have. Then there's the picked raspberry, like I said. So you can see there's a real difference. The picked raspberry is bright, but the kitschy is kind of a neon-y. Then you have worn lipstick, which is kind of on the coral end. The spun sugar, which is really light. And then abandoned coral, which is kind of a red pink, I would say. So you can see they're all very, very different colors, and there's lots of fun things to do with kitsch if you like that style. And I think it goes, and Tim has talked about this, it goes really well with the speckled egg. And then the other color that I used it with is the squeezed lemonade. And I didn't look to see if we have any of that, but it's a really bright bright yellow. Yeah, and we can look at that card. So that's the squeezed lemonade there. And actually on that one, I used all three colors. And that was really, Pinterest inspired when I saw some of just the color combinations.
So she used the speckled egg.
Yep, on my bottle there. And then I colored some cardstock, just rubbed the ink right on my paper and then die cut those flowers. And that's from the new, I can't remember the names yet, the new die, the Funky Nature die, the little flowers. And they're so
Teresa,
delicate.
I like that.
Yeah, I really like, this is a fun die. They're really delicate and they go nicely into the into the vase.
I like how you did that. Do we have any of those bottle dies?
We are out of that, but we've got some on order. So if you want some, then you can call us and tell us to put your name down.
Really, you could, if in the meantime, if you don't have it, you could probably just trace and cut a vase to put
or
your
if you
flowers
have
in.
a jar,
That's really cute.
or there is that potted, the pot die too. The little
the
pot
wheelbarrow.
die that you could put it in.
Not wheelbarrow. Whiskey barrel.
Whiskey barrel.
Whiskey barrel, yeah.
Yeah, you could put it in there. And I use one of the shifter stencils. We've used those a lot, and 2 different colors, and so you shift it over. And the diamond, I think, was a real kitschy shape
I think you're right. That makes me think of 60s.
Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely. So that was totally kitsch inspired there. Then I used another shifter, just the dot shifter that we had that came out this Christmas, and I used a heavy hand on one and a light hand on the other. So that's
it's the same color?
Yep, that's kitsch.
Wow.
And then on this one, I use the embossing powder, which, I don't have a lot of colors embossing powder, but I've started to buy the new ones because they're so much fun, and because they're
the embossing glazes,
yeah, the glazes. I'm sorry. So what's really nice about them, and I'm going to show you, is that you put your glaze over the image, and you can still see the image, which is really nice. With a lot of embossing powders, you're going to use it, and you're not going to be able to see the image underneath.
They're opaque, right?
Yeah, so they're opaque. So this is more translucent, is what they're called. So you can see through the powder. So it still has the shine, which the little piggies have a little shine. Yeah. Then on this card, I marked the ones that I used oxides. I'm trying to get smarter about it. So, of course, I have a niece that is having a birthday. So I used our Cheers, Memory Bound's Cheers stamp to mix it up. It's your birthday. And then I used the Tim Holtz, that's the big one. And we do have that. The drinks, the cocktail blueprint. This one.
Cute.
And Maggie said, "Is that a pink squirrel?" And I was like, I wish I had a squirrel, a squirrel stamp. So that's kind of kitschy too.
Sure.
But on this one, I use the embossing powder on the cherry and the umbrella. And they're kind of shiny.
That's cute.
And I cut the umbrella out a couple times and layered it. So you probably can't see, but it's layered up there a couple times. I just wanted it to pop. Yep.
And yes, Mary, you do use heat to do the glazes. And
yeah.
I don't know, maybe Teresa will even demo that for us today.
We'll show you that.
Very good.
So that's a fun one. And I use the wood grain, Tim Holtz's wood grain paper there, and I use the planks die, and I cut out my little table there, and I put some brads are coming back, I think.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Okay, here is the planks die. So if you have that, Teresa just used that to make her table. So creative, Teresa.
Yeah, and the wood grain paper, this is my package. See, I don't waste anything. If I don't use it, it goes back in the package.
Good for you.
But we've got that for $8.99. And I think this comes in, does it come in the small pieces? No, maybe it just comes in the big pieces. Yeah, yeah, so you can cut it apart and ink it up, and it works really nice for
so you don't
anything
even have to
wood.
Emboss it. It's already embossed for you.
Yep. So that's a fun one. I'm going to send that one out eventually.
I love how you ground your images. It just, it's just perfect.
Except for this one. She's kind of floating in the
floating,
air.
but she is Mary Poppins, and Mary Poppins floats.
Yes. So I am still really hooked on this, the Park die, the new one that he has. With, it looks like Mary Poppins and then the chimney sweep guy. But so this one again, I inked some paper and die cut her out in the kitsch. And then I used our, is it called State Fair?
I think it is.
State Fair, Memory Bound State Fair stamp. You guys know how I like to pull out stamps and use them for non-traditional things. And since we didn't have a fair this year, this stamp did not get very much use. But we still have these in stock, and they're $14.99. And my mother-in-law loves cotton candy, and so that was the inspiration for this one.
I think that's a riot, Teresa.
Yeah,
so out of the ordinary.
Yeah, when we go to the ballpark, she has to get her cotton candy. So I use the embossing. It's maybe hard to see on the video, but it's shiny because I put the embossing powder right on that cotton candy. And so it kind of pops out, and she's holding it. And then I use the other stamp, the ticket, and that is the Ferris wheel. So I just stamped it half on, and you don't even know it's a Ferris. Maybe you know it's a Ferris wheel.
You know it's a Ferris wheel.
But I thought that was just a fun way to use it.
I think that's great.
Off the page. And then I did use the speckled egg as the background. Again, I think that speckled egg and the kitsch go really nicely together.
But Teresa, what a good, again, Teresa is very well known for pulling out her stamp sets and then using them for other purposes. That's kind of your thing.
Yeah.
And to use the State Fair ticket to fun and put it on your birthday, what that's perfect. It's genius. But I wouldn't have thought of that. So I really like that. And I suppose you could probably use, you know, the popcorn if you're having like a popcorn birthday party, or there's even the lemonade, or that could be any kind of drink.
Oh, yeah. I've used that for different drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So way to think outside the box.
It could be pink lemonade. I could have made pink lemonade.
And even the fun, yeah, you could have. You could have made Kitschy Flamingo lemonade.
Yeah.
Very fun. Good job.
That's a fun one. All right, so this one we use the stamping foam, and I demoed that last week, and it's still going to be coming sometime. But this one I stamped. Remember, I said when you use the stamping foam, you have to have an image that's a
mirror image.
Yes, a mirror image. Mm-hmm. So both sides. So the ladybug. I did a card last week with the butterfly in that stamp set, and this is the ladybug. And it's one of those snarky messages again.
Oh my gosh, I just read that. To be honest, I'm just winging it. Life, motherhood, my eyeliner, everything. That is
I thought that was fun. You had to use something, a flying bug on that one. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I tried to wing an eyeliner one time, and yeah, that did not go well. I am not meant to wear eyeliner.
Yeah, so that's just fun to remind you guys of the foam, and that's still coming. Just let us know if you want some.
Teresa, you didn't hear the latest. Sorry, just forget that Teresa ever demoed the stamping foam. Forget that you ever wanted it. Forget everything about it. Just go get your Alzheimer's and forget that you ever saw it, because it's not coming till June.
Oh.
Yeah, June. It was the latest
update.
That's
sad.
It's very sad. So, there. You never
we'll just
saw
flip
that
one over.
You never saw that card. Yeah, we're so disappointed. That,
well, the kitsch is fun with the ladybug, anyhow. You can stamp the ladybug and kitsch. But. All right, so the next two cards, I use the oxide. And this one, I had a friend that just got married again for the second time, and she had a lovely little small wedding in her backyard, and I wanted to send her a beautiful card. And so I made this one, and this is, I used some of the lace from the 49th and Market. We've still got the, the neutral color.
Yeah, this color.
We still got that. And you could always...
but the white is coming.
Yeah, the white is coming. You could always color that, use your oxides to color it if you wanted it a different color.
Idea,
I could have colored that one. And then the sentiment, congrats, wishing you lots of happiness.
Happily
ever after. Yeah. That's from that Congrats, the photo play stamp and die set, and we do still have that one. I keep using it because I told you guys this is a fun set. It's $13.99, and there's all sorts of sentiments.
I think that wishing you lots of happily ever after is adorable.
Yeah,
that's really cute.
Yeah, and so I did sew. Again, a little bit. I use my sewing machine.
So Mary says if you do a demo in June, it'll be new.
Yeah.
Because we'll all have forgotten. You're absolutely right, Mary. I can't even remember
definitely.
From last week.
Yes, so, definitely.
Hey, everybody, see this brand new product we've never seen before?
Yes, we'll have to mark that on the calendar for June so we remember to show it.
Well, that's true. That's true. We will. We'll do that so we can show that.
So I stamped on the heart with a little background die, and then die cut that out, and I did a little splatter on there too. So you got to get your sprays or use your splat brush. I use the splat brush, but we do have the spray, the kitschy spray, both in both in flamingo, both in oxide and regular. So,
okay, so did you splatter that with a splatter brush, but with the
Yes.
but with the spray, or did you make a spray? Or did
I
you,
just put my ink on my mat, and then I use the splatter brush because I didn't have the spray.
okay, so kind of walk us through that. So you took
Yeah.
your
So I took my ink and I put it on my mat,
Yep.
and then I sprayed it with water.
Okay.
And then I pretend this is my splat brush,
Yep, you
and I
pick
had
it
my
up.
splat brush, and I just got my ink on there, and then I just splatted it.
Okay, so Teresa, that's a great tip for those who don't have the sprays, but like that
Yep.
splatter background, you don't have to have the spray. You can
Yep.
make your own.
And I use
love
the
that.
oxide, so it's a little bit chalky. And the same with the Congrats. That was the die. There's, you could stamp it or die cut it, and I decided I wanted to die cut it. And I just took my ink pad. I'll show you. And I just, I did that, and then I just fill it in. If there's a spot, I just fill it in, and then I can die cut my image off of my cardstock.
Right. I love that. I love that. Where can you find the lace on the website? That, let's see, you should be able to go to 49 and Market under New and go to the colors section. There's one for like blush and sky and sage and coral, and then there's one that's called colors. I believe it's under that one.
The lace is beautiful, and you can see the one piece is like most of the time you don't get lace that thick, but it's like 2 inches, and I was so excited because I wanted a big old piece of lace on there. So
okay, so they're asking what is the heart. Actually, she die cut the heart and stamped it with she's digging it up. It's just a background stamp.
yeah,
So
you
like
just want to
these
use a
plaids,
background stamp.
So if you have any background stamp, you can use that. But did you stamp first and then die cut it, or die cut and then stamp?
I stamped and then die cut, but you can do it either way, really. It just kind of depends on how big your die is, and how big your stamp is. How particular you want to get to the edge of the die. I'm trying to find my heart die. I don't know where. Oh, there it is. So see, you could just stamp it and then die cut it,
Cute.
or die cut it and then
Is it
stamp
on,
it.
Diane? Where's
It's
it
probably
at?
easier to stamp first, because then you don't have to worry about holding this down on your stamp pad.
Right, right. Okay, Diane's here.
It's under the colors, 49 and Market, Vintage Artistry Colors.
Vintage Artistry Colors, okay.
Under twine and ribbon.
Okay, all right. Hope everybody heard that. It's under Vintage Artistry Colors, and then it's also under twine and ribbon on our website. Very good.
Very pretty.
Okay. So
All
thank
right.
you for that description. That is just beautiful. All right.
My friend liked it. I made another card and I already sent it to her. She sent me a text. So, okay, so this one is also, I use the oxides, and we're going to show you this technique of how I made this Easter egg. But I use the Snarky Cats, and don't judge me. I think that's funny. And I put little, I almost said monkey ears, rabbit ears. I don't know what monkey ears are. This is a new die that we got, and it's $7.99, and it's so cute. You get 2 sizes. The one I used was the small one, and then you've got the big one for bigger images that you might have. And I use this set on 2 cards. I'll show you the other one in a minute, but it's super cute if you want to put ears on. There's lots of things you could put ears on.
Absolutely.
I think.
Absolutely.
So
Put them on these little pigs if you
yeah,
wanted
you
to.
could. So I did stamp him separately and cut him out and then glued him down on top of the egg. But what we did is we used a stencil with the egg shape, and then I stamped over the stencil to make our image. And we'll show you that in a minute.
It's adorable.
But those are both the oxides. The speckled egg and the kitsch, which is perfect for Easter, I think.
Jane, ask your question. She says, I will never understand the difference in those stamps. Do you talking about stamps or inks? What's your die cut machine of choice? They're asking that.
The Sizzix.
The Sizzix Big Shot, I think.
The Big Shot, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. It's the most universal. It cuts any die on the market. You would love it.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, this one, Kitsch, you know, the pink, of course, is perfect for breast cancer color. And it's, what does that say? Pray for your recovery.
Praying for your recovery.
It's hard to read upside down.
Yes.
And then I have the little breast cancer ribbon there. And this one, I just used a stencil, a flower stencil, and I used one of my new favorite tools, and I used the iCrafter, what are they called?
Blending brushes?
Blending brushes. And on my stencil, I just, I'm sure I have them right here. So when I laid it down, I was able to, is that it? Just color in the pink, and then I switched to a green one and did the green ones. So they're nice, they fit into small spaces. So I did my stenciling, and then I just die cut the rectangle. And then on this one,
with just a stitched rectangle die. Mm-hmm.
And then this one, I stamped my sentiment first, and then I just added a little flower on the edges.
That's adorable.
And that stamp set is the memory bound one called Hope. And I know it's not October, but it doesn't hurt to make cards early.
Well,
people you can send them all the time. That's right.
Not just in October.
That's
for
right.
Sure.
So
that is a good stamp set to have for your friends.
Yeah, it has some good images on it. The big cancer ribbon you can use for any types of cancer, and then the floral one, the border. And I did cut one off at the end. That's how I got, that's the small one. I just cut my stamp, like you guys know I do, just to get that small image right really there in the corner.
Beautiful card,
yeah.
Teresa.
All right, now for some fun. So I had to take my little Halloween guys, my Halloween friends. What are they called?
Trick-or-treaters.
Trick-or-treaters. 1999. I've gotten my money's worth out of this die, man.
More than your money's
I
worth
know, I know. And last week, Janine showed her, what did she show? Oh, the football.
Yeah, for Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, and so we kind of have been challenging each other. And so I did the Easter one, and this is a little Halloween basket. And I used those ears that I showed you. That's new. And this is just basically the girl. And again, I just inked my paper to match. And this is just an oval die that I stamped first and then die cut and inked the edges.
And the stamp set that she used is this, Perfect Plaids.
It's a nice one. It's a nice background. If you don't have a plaid paper, then you can just stamp it. I use that one all the time if I don't have the right color plaid paper. I have a lot of plaid paper. It's good. It doesn't go out of style, but to have the stamp is really nice because you can make it whatever color you want.
Right.
And so she coordinates with her little, and I add a little puff on her butt there for her rabbit tail.
Oh, that's so cute. And her little purse, or her little basket.
Her little Easter basket. Yes. Yep, that's the Halloween basket. It just turned into an Easter basket. So,
Teresa, can you tell us, like, the number? Is the number on that stencil for the floral? Because they're asking what it is. And if, I don't believe we have it in stock, but if we can get it, or I know we can get it, we can order it for you. Does it have a number on it? THS077.
Okay. I did not check to see
077.
if we had it, but I know we've had this one before.
Oh,
it's an older one. It's just good to have a floral. You could use any floral. It's good to have a floral stencil in your stash.
Yep. Florals are good for sympathy, birthday, it's an all occasion.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's really fun to do the different colors. I mean, you can do one color on it and it still looks beautiful, but I just really like to add the green in there. I can't remember. I think the green was crushed olive that I used. Yeah, it was crushed olive. So that's a nice, for the kitschy green, there's sometimes some green in there too. And you know, do you remember the, I know we had that olive color refrigerator when I was growing up.
I think let's see, we maybe had the stove.
Yes,
green stove.
we might have had the stove too, but I remember the refrigerator, and it's real kitschy, and that's the crushed olive that I used on that, because I'm a green gal as it is. But all right, so I think we showed all the cards, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job.
All right.
But Teresa has a demo for us today.
So I was going to show you how I did the egg. So I have my
the mat that she's using is just our craft mat that we sell here. It's 15 by 18, or I believe we also have 16 by 20 now. They're $9.99, and it's craft mat. Oh, and let's see what you're doing.
I'm just giving my stencil a little spray, because when you use, it's the pixie spray, and when you use your pixie spray on your stencil, then it holds the edges down. And you can see on my card that I have nice crisp edges on my oval, so it looks like an egg and not a broken egg. And then I'm just gonna stick it down there. And so I have the what stamp set is it called? Brush strokes. I would call it splats, but we've used this a lot, and there's so many things you can do with it.
But again, I wouldn't have thought to use it to make my Easter eggs with. So Teresa, way to go. And Chris says that the new floral layered stencil that Kelly demoed last week would be great on a card like that too. And thanks, Chris, for pointing that out. You're absolutely right.
All right, so I'm going to use the oxide ink, because that's what I used on my card. And so I just inked it up with the oxide, and I've got my stencil down on my piece of paper, and then I just kind of put it where I wanted it.
So the technique that Teresa's using is so fun, because you could use any stamp. It doesn't need to be a brush stroke stamp. You can make floral eggs, you can make plaid eggs, but the techniques that she's using, if you have these stencils, and they come in, oh wait, Teresa, don't stamp, because they're going to want to see it. They come in the oval, they come balloons, we have hearts, stars, rectangles, squares. So any of those stencils, and you can find these on our website under stencils. They're $5.49, and they make such a great shape.
And you could use, like, the plaid would be really cool to stamp inside that. Like if you don't have a die, you could do this instead.
Right.
So, and then I just, you probably see there I stamped the same, so I don't like that. I should have flipped it around. On mine you can see that I flipped it, so that spot wasn't in the same, but I forgot what I was doing here on live.
Nobody's going to go, oh gosh, she stamped it the same way twice.
I know. But
but that's a good tip to let people know about.
And it looks like I need one more. And on mine, I alternated, but I'm not going to take the time to clean my stamp here. And so then the other thing I did is I took this, the little blending brush, and I just kind of went around the edge. And I had to use two because I had two colors. But because you've got a little bit of white space in between, I really wanted to be able to see that egg shape. And so I just kind of went around the edge of my stencil to give an edge.
I like that, Teresa. I think that's just so cute.
And there you go. You have a nice egg. Isn't it cute? It looks like a really dyed, you know how you put your dyed eggs in and you do half and half, or some people do more because they're good at it. I'm not. But that's fun to do that.
Okay, Teresa, we have several customers asking, what is the difference between the Distress ink and the Distress Oxide ink?
Right. So, first of all, the packaging.
Thank you for pointing that out. That's a very good point.
Yes, it is. It's a good way to keep it separate.
Yep.
And you can see I've got all of my oxides together. The oxides are all gray, so I keep my oxides all together in my tin. So that's gray, and the regular one is black. So I think the main difference is that the oxide looks more chalky when you stamp it than the regular Distress ink. It's just a softer, chalkier look. Then they're both reactive to water, but when you spray the oxide, it really becomes chalkier.
Milky.
Yeah,
Cloudy.
milky. Yeah,
Cloudy.
yeah. It's just not as solid as the other one. I do like stamping with it, as you can see. The really nice thing, which I forgot to do this time, normally I do, is that you can stamp the oxides on dark colored paper, and it's going to show up. Now, it's going to look different. The inks all look different, both of them, depending on what color you stamp it on, whether it's a white or a cream. It's going to look different. But when you stamp an oxide on a craft or a black or, whatever dark color, you're still going to be able to see the color. When you stamp the regular oxide ink, it's not going to show on some, like on black, some isn't going to show up. So that's another big difference. Let's see, what am I forgetting?
The main difference that I feel is I like to watercolor, and I like to watercolor best with the Distress inks, because if you watercolor with the oxides, they go too light and milky for me. So you're going to get, for me, you're going to get a better watercolor color when you watercolor with the Distress inks. So that, and it depends on the use. You really need both, because they both have purposes. Like Teresa said, these are beautiful on craft and black, the oxides, and these are beautiful on white. And I feel like you even get sometimes a crisper image because it's not cloudy.
Right, yeah. When I stamp images, a lot of times I'll use the regular ink. But when I'm doing any kind of watercolor or whatever, like Dawn said, then I go to the oxide. The other thing...
You use the oxide for watercolor?
Sometimes. I guess I do both. I'm trying to think of what I used over here. The other tip is...
that you were like ink smushed, right?
Yes, I ink smushed this. When you stamp on top of the oxides, you really want to use the archival ink. Because if you stamp an oxide onto an oxide, it's gonna kind of
react.
Yeah, it'll react, and it sometimes kind of fades a little bit. I just thought of another thing. When you use the oxide, you can layer it on your paper.
Just dry it between your layers.
Yes. So I can show you here. So, I don't have any water.
Lisa brought up a good point. The oxides are opaque and the ink is translucent and richer. That's a very good description.
Right. So when you do the smush technique, normally I would spray this with water and then I would smush it and then I would dry it with my heat gun. Then I can take another color and do the same thing, and it's going to layer on top of each other. So you can see all the colors. If you do that with the Distress ink, you're probably going to get brown. Or if you use a red and a blue, you're going to get purple.
Right.
Whereas the oxides layer on top of each other. So it's really nice when you do the smush technique if you're using different colors. I generally will use the oxides because I like to see all of the colors.
Good.
I also like them when I'm using stencils more for some reason. I don't know, they're just easier to blend. They're creamier, right? Yeah. But usually I buy the Distress ink first, and then I'll buy the oxide because I want to do all those other things with it, and it's nice to have both. So I don't have all the colors in both, but going forward, I've started buying both because I just really like the oxides. And with the oxides, you at least want to get 3. So if you're going to try them, get 3 colors so that when you can smush them together. You always want 3 of everything.
Right.
So I started out with 3 colors and then went from there.
Like 3 pinks, 3 blues, 3 greens, is that what you're saying?
Or you can get a pink and a blue and a yellow maybe, or 3 colors that you like that are going to blend together. like for me, I would probably get a purple and a green, and because those are my two favorite colors and I like them together, and then I would get something else. There's some nice neutral colors. The antique linen is a good one. Oh, hickory smoke is another
That's a
good one that I like. So we're getting those in all the time.
Okay. And then they're asking the spritz bottle. The spritz bottle is a Tim Holtz spritzer water bottle that we cannot get back in stock right now. It's been out of stock and we can't get it. But it is a spritzer bottle. But we do have the mini misters. If you type in mini mister, those will come up.
Those are nice. They do a nice fine mist, which I like a lot of the time, just to get everything mushing together. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So
and then they want to know, how do you clean your brush? So like this brush now, how would you clean that?
So I usually give it a spray of water, and then I have the microcloth, and I just rub it on the microcloth, and it comes clean. You don't have to spray it necessarily, but I like to get all the color off. The thing is, with the oxide and the distress, if you have a blending brush, you do not want to go back and forth
between the ink
and the oxide. You can go from oxide. You can go from regular to oxide, but you can't go from oxide to regular. So lately, I've been trying to use these with my distress inks and these with my oxides, just because it seems like I use these on with stencils and more, and with the oxides, I use more with stencils. So, but these will clean. These do not clean.
Okay.
So I clean this, and I've used it on both, but I really make sure that I get it clean first. And they clean really nicely.
And they're asking, how do you clean your craft mat?
I just spray it with water and wipe it with a microfiber cloth.
Yep, or paper towels.
Yeah, or paper towels.
You have laying around.
I didn't bring one today, shockingly.
I know, you always have your microfiber cloth.
Yes. They're probably in the laundry, so. Okay, so I was going to show you the Distress Glaze. Ooh, I just love my little tin. It's getting pretty. If I can get my quiche out. So there's my quiche. See, I've got the newer colors. Wilderness. There's the I didn't get I got broken china. I didn't get speckled egg. I have broken china though. So, and I've got some sequins in there because I haven't filled up all my glazes yet. So what you want to do is you want to stamp your image with an archival ink. And then what I did is I used a watermark pen or a embossing pen. And we don't have this brand. Well, no, we do have this brand. It's the Versamark. And it's nice because it has a double tip. So it has the marker on one end, and it has a brush on the other end. Mine is the same, only they changed the cap a little bit, I guess. So it's really nice to have the double tipped end. And those are $3.49. And then we have the Tim Holtz one that's $4.99. And he did his different. He's got a what does he say? Bullet point tip?
I think they're
on both of them.
Point, but one is like a clear
One's
and the other
clear.
one is a black.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And yes, both of the Distress inks and the Distress oxides have refills. So you just keep your ink pads, and then you can you can use the refill on them to re-ink them. Or there is something called Distress Refresher that is a spritz that you can spray on them. We had a customer the other day who hadn't used hers in like 15 years, her ink pads. So I recommended to her to use the Distress Refresher to get them inked back up. And okay.
So I was going to show you how these distressing glazes work. So I've got my marker, which is good, and I'm just going to go over. What the heck? Oh, my ink didn't set. Well,
did you heat set it?
I'm going over my pig and my markers. I should have used a different ink. I thought I did. I used the wrong one. Let's try it again.
Let's try that. We're going to try that side.
That was the wrong one, maybe. Here we go. So this was the Ranger archival ink. That's what you want to use so that it's set. And I just kind of scribbled over him just for fun. And then I poured my powder on him. And you can see it didn't even fill in all the way, which I don't care. I like the look of it. I really like the way that they turned out on my card. You don't want me to heat my...
No, I don't want you to heat up your entire bottle of embossing glaze. Because I want you to demo more for us, Teresa.
Is it melting?
Not yet.
There.
But the nice part with the distressed glaze is, as we mentioned, it is translucent, so you can see the stamp through the glaze.
Do you see how it's shiny? No?
No, we can't.
I can't.
Oh, there we go. There we go. We can see it shiny now.
And see, I didn't even get, I mean, it doesn't matter that I didn't fill it in all the way. It gives it a kitschy look.
Right. Now you can cut around him.
Yes, now you can cut around him and put him on there. I just stamped him 3 times and I did each one. And so you can still see the image. That's the part that I like. A lot of the embossing powders, you're not going to be able to see the image. You're going to put the powder on and it's going to cover up your lines. So you have to be really careful with it. And so with this, you just cover over it and you can use them as a color to make that shine.
Cool. And Shelley's asking where you find the stamps with the drinks. They should be under Stamps and Stampers Anonymous. You should be able to find these drinks under there. And after the video, I will go check and make sure that they are there. But
they should be there.
Stamps, yeah, Stamps and Stampers Anonymous, you should find them. Or Tim Holtz. Actually, Stamps and Tim Holtz is probably where they're under.
What can I help you with?
Well, Teresa, do you just want to make sure these are online and then where they're at online? Okay.
Any other questions about the oxides and
Can
inks?
you go back and fill in the spots you missed? Absolutely,
Sure.
Mona. Here.
You could just miss that little spot there. That's the nice thing about having a pen. And there it's filled in and I could just heat it and yeah.
Very good.
And these are, like if you even stamp a regular image and you miss a spot, let's say you're using an embossing ink pad and you stamp an image and heat it and there's a spot that you missed, you can go back with your marker and fill it in and put powder and reheat it. Yeah.
Very good.
Not
tip,
a problem.
Teresa. Thank you.
Yeah. So these are nice to have. I mean, I don't use mine a lot, but it's really nice to have. And maybe now with these new embossing glazes, I will use it more often because I think it's fun just to put, like on this, on the drink, I just wanted the cherry. I could have done the whole thing, but I just wanted the cherry to make it pop. So the markers are really nice for that instead of, glazing the whole thing with an ink pad.
Very good. Okay, the pig is from the Funny Farm set.
I love that set.
Are in stock, and Kelly and Teresa, have used that hundreds of times. And look, there's even a little bunny on there for
It's so Iowa.
It's so Iowa, but it's so just animals, kids. It's just a very, very cute set. There is the Snarky Cat stamp set. And all of these you should find under Stamps and Tim Holtz is where you'll find those. Okay, the Versamark pen, you should be able to find that under Embossing. So if you go to Stamping on our website and Embossing, you should find that. There's the Versamark. And then the other one is called Emboss It. And that's a Ranger product. Okay, the difference between the glazes and the embossing powder is glazes are the transparent, and your regular embossing powders are usually opaque and like a solid.
Right. They're going to cover up
everything.
And the idea a lot of times is to do an outline of an image, which you could do an outline of these images as well with the glazes.
Right.
But regular embossing powder, a lot of times you'll use it as the outline of the image. And I think these are more, at least I've used the glazes more as to highlight areas and make them shine and stand out a little bit and pop, especially with the kitsch color. That's going to pop like crazy. So
very, very good. Everybody loved your demo today, Teresa.
Oh, good.
And okay, they're asking, the tall alphabet, you should be able to find that we showed last week. You should be able to find that under dies, and that should be the chapter. It's either chapter 1 or chapter 1 release. Yeah, so you'll find that under new in chapter 1, and it's called Stretch Alphabet. Was that alphabet set that they showed last week? And Katie, Katie is here, and Katie, they want to do a run by. Okay, so I guess we did not show these on Saturday, but these are the new stamp sets from Pink Fresh. Simply Sentiments, thank you. So Katie brought these over and gave me some sign language, and I'm not sure what the sign language was. Katie, why don't you, Katie, everybody wants to see you. Come, here's her drive-by. Do you want to tell us about these stamp sets?
We got them in on Saturday.
Oh, we got them in on Saturday. Yeah. That was your sign language.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we did get these in on Saturday.
And this one has a die cut.
Oh, nice.
Oh, the coordinating die.
Yeah.
Ooh,
with
yeah.
those two. Yeah. These are really nice. These would cover everything.
Oh, I didn't forget your birthday. I just wanted to make it last longer. Oh, that's cute. A friendly birthday wish. Keep shining, beautiful one. The world needs your light. Oh,
Look at how
these
many
are
people
neat.
it takes to look at a stamp set.
Yeah, here we go. We have everybody.
Do we all need to hold a piece of it?
These are under Tim Holtz stamps.
Thank you.
And if you couldn't find them, they're there now.
Awesome.
Okay, everybody. The stamp sets that Teresa was showing today are under Stamps and Tim Holtz. And okay, and then here she showed the die set that goes with the happy birthday. So those are really fun. Okay, the Pink Fresh demo, Kelly did an amazing job demoing for us. Oh, and I just lost all of the, there they are. I just lost all the comments. Kelly did an amazing job demoing Pink Fresh stamps, dies, and stencils last week. And if they are out of stock and you're waiting for them, we did place an order already Friday. So we're hoping that within the next 10 days we should have some of that stuff, or all of it maybe, back in stock.
Yeah. And if you want the quiche, just call us and let us know, because you're going to want it. It's coming. You're going to want it.
It's coming. It's coming. The first batch is here and gone, and the next batch is coming, and we'll put your name in the book and then call you as soon
We've
as
got the glaze, though. It's just the inks that we're waiting on. We've got the glazes and the sprays.
We got the sprays.
Oh, and there's paint.
We
We didn't say paint. There's paint.
And Maggie showed us last week how you can paint.
Oh,
with,
yeah.
Or make cards with the painting
Yeah.
and your spatula. That was a really cool technique. So if you don't have the ink pad, you can use the paint to make really cool cards too, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, hopefully we answered everybody's questions. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate you watching. And
Stay warm.
Exactly. Stay warm. And we are memory bound in Iowa, and there's our phone number. You can certainly give us a call. If you can't find something online, just give us a call, and we will try to help you with that over the phone. That's no problem. And we still do curbside. And we have staff that don't mind going out and delivering your packages to the curb.
We all have those hot moments where it's fun to run out and come back in again.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Oh, how much are the glazes?
$5.99.
$5.99 are the glazes. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you. We'll be back here tomorrow at 9:30 on Tuesday, and every day this week. We'll be back at 9:30.